Good afternoon, everybody. Today, figured I'd make a video that is very near and dear to my heart. It's one of the things that I hope you'll see a lot of on my channel. We're going to talk about frogs. Your frog rod. What rod do you need? What reel do you need? This is my actual, if I've got one rod, this is a dedicated frog rod, nothing but frogs. This is it. 7 foot heavy. Yes, 7 foot heavy, not 7.6, not 7.9, not 7.11, not extra heavy. 7 foot heavy, 6 skill Mayaka, and it's paired with a Hamar S Plus, which is the saltwater or the salt rated casting reel from 6 skill. This is my bona fide frogging setup. The frog rod you need versus the frog rod I need might be two different rods. A lot of people don't understand that. Just because you see this guy on YouTube and he's frogging with a 7.6 extra heavy Okeechobee short special, that don't mean that's a rod for you. It might be too much rod. Me personally, even in an environment such like this, I would prefer to go with a 7 foot medium heavy. But I don't own any 7 foot medium heavy, so this is my one go-to. Your frog. This is a Spro Bronzeye. Nothing special, just a good old Spro Bronzeye, one of the best frogs on the market, period. Anybody that says they ain't, then, you know, I would question their frogability right there on the spot. Dean Roja, he designs these frogs. They're his frogs. What a lot of people don't understand is his primary frog rod is a medium heavy. His number one go-to frog rod ain't a heavy. It's a, when you see him skipping his frog and all, you know, curving it around tree limbs, he's doing that with a medium heavy rod, not the heavy. Now, if he started fishing true slop or mats, you know, you'd see him pull out a heavy. But his go-to frog rod is what? It's a medium heavy. Why? The frogs he designs are soft. They've got, I wouldn't call them small, but they're, I want to say that's a 3/0 hook. They're smaller hook, they're Gamakatsu hooks, so they're solid hooks. But if you put it on the wrong rod, you put this on a medium, you might get it, you might not. I hope you got a tight hook set. You put it on a heavy, you're gonna get it. You put it on an extra heavy, and you go frogging mats with it, you're liable to bend them hooks out. And I'm gonna tell you now, if you got to bend the hooks out, it ain't you, dog. It ain't the hooks, it's the frog. If you have to bend your hooks out, just change frogs. Now, I actually have several frog rods. I've got a 7.5 heavy Anur from 6 skill, which is their frog rod, hence the name Anur, the frog. Do I use it for frogging? Yes, it's my all-around frog rod. Any frog I own, I can throw on that rod. Okay, if that's the case, why do I use a 7 foot heavy? I'm a smaller guy. And you see, when you actually walk on your frog, your rod's low to the water. You don't really want your rod up here. You don't want your rod up here, you don't want it up here. You actually can. You can walk your frog with your tip up. You just have to get used to doing it. But you want it low, so you just can pop that line and walk the frog. Walking the frog isn't a big, it's not as hard as walking like a topwater walker, for example. It's really finessey. Hence we go back to let your frog pick your rod. Let what you're doing pick your rod. So here I've got grass. This is a lot of grass. There's a lot of algae. There's a lot of, I'm just back here so y'all can see. There's a lot of pollen. You've got a lot of vegetative cover back here. I wonder if that was a turtle. But like right there, for example, should it hit right there, I'm gonna be glad I got this heavy. My medium heavies would get it out. I've got a 7.6 medium heavy right behind me. I cast it across this pond and snatch them out with it. But anyway, back to the subject, the frog rod. Not every company's heavy is the same. Not every company's medium heavy is going to be the same. Some companies' medium heavies tend to be more heavyish. Some medium heavies tend to be more mediumish. But it's just, it is what it is. That's the company. Everybody's different. If everybody made the same thing, life would be kind of boring, right? I mean, if all you ever had was redheads, you know, you'd never know the value of a good blonde, would you? Reels. This is an 8-to-1. Honestly, if you can go with a 7, if you're frogging the mat, if you're frogging a really thick, heavy cover, and you can go with a 7 or even under, because you got, when you're frogging a mat, oh, I'm over the tree. The wind got me. How many trees am I in? Oh Lord, it's a mess. When you're frogging a mat, you're not really walking the frog. You're just literally popping it over cover. You're not walking it. See, like here, I'm walking it. When you're really fishing mats or pads, for example, you can't do that. You're not going to walk your frog. You're going to pop it. That's all you're doing. It's really a time. And on the mats, you want a stout ride, because you got to think when they hit, they're going to go down. You got to come down, hit them, turn them, and pull them out the same hole they went down. Okay? That's the whole point of the ride. You don't want to ride with a tip that's entirely too stiff, or it's going to, you know, make casts, and then it can actually affect walking. Because walking really is a finesse touch. Like this rod, it's a 7-foot heavy. Some people don't like it, I love it, but as you see, it's got a little tip on it. It's not much of a tip. It's a stick now. This ain't, you know, it's a stick, but look at that. So when I'm loading up, that tip is going to stay loaded a little. The slower speed reels, when you hit and cover, and you hit and you first start reeling, the longer the cast it is, the worse it's going to be. The higher the speed reel, the actual harder it is to turn to handle during stress. The lower the speed, the easier, just like a mountain bike, a 10-speed, or your car. The lower that gear, and that, you know, your car can get up that hill, it ain't struggling. But if you got it in 4th or 5th gear and you're going up a steep hill, you know, you kind of have to gear it down a little bit. Same concept. Now with the rod, as long as you can physically pull on the fish and keep your rod loaded up and keep it moving, you don't have to worry about that too much. It's just sometimes, you know, you will lose them from that high speed reel. On my Anura, I've got a 7-speed Hamar. It's a longer rod. When I put a frog on it, I'm really going to be covering water. I'm going to be throwing it as far as I can. This is more target frogging. The Anura, I'm really just going to be covering water with my frog. That's all that's it. I'm just covering water, frogging. Yeah, I did that on purpose. Like I say, the best, you really want a light rod. That's a factor. That's something I don't hear anybody really preach about. This is one of them techniques where honestly, the more expensive the rod, the more you're going to be able to enjoy it. Like I say, if you've got a cheap lower carbon count 7.6, 7.11 heavy, and you're out there throwing this rod, that overall combo is heavy. And when you're doing this, you know, like me, if this was a 7.6, I'd be up here. I wouldn't be able to come down here, I'd be up here. If it was my 7.9, I'd be up here. I just like this combo. Out of all the rods I've used for frogs, this is my favorite. I used to use St. Croix as a 7-foot before, but this guy. Oh, I messed that one up. Yeah, but your frog, spend some time with it, man. Don't go cheap, not even on your reel. Don't go cheap on your reel. You want a solid reel. This MRS Plus, this is a solid aluminum reel. It's got a solid aluminum frame, aluminum side plates. As you can hear on the cast, and it's got ceramic bearings in it. That's why it sounds loud like that, because it's the acoustics. It's a solid aluminum frame with a ceramic bearing. It's the acoustic. That's all it is acoustics. You don't have to have a saltwater rated reel. This is just, you know, I like it. Another thing about frogging, you need to get used to having a good flipping stick on standby. That way, should one show itself and you don't get the hook set, you can come behind yourself and flip them out. Frogging is not hard. And it's something, if you got the time to invest in it, you'll thank yourself for it. Yeah, I think there's one in there, so I'm messing with it. Can't make me believe there ain't one in there. Probably small, but it's in there. But yeah, expensive rod. The lightest rod you can, as far as weight wise. It's gonna really help with your tip weight, and it's actually gonna speed your hook set up. That's another thing about that 7-foot heavy. When you swing so fast, you can't help but set the hook. And on that rod, the moment that tip loads up, them hooks are set. It's over with, they're caught. As long as you stay reeling, they're coming in the boat. But a lot of your actual frogging, a flipping stick on the side can be your best friend. All because of that. This spot right here, I can't really effectively frog it because of the cover. But I can pull my flipping stick out and go right into it. If you've got a good flipping stick, you might already have your frog rod. But it's best to have one combo set up specifically for frogging. as long as you put forth the time, the effort, be willing to try a few different rods out, go through a few combos. Odds are, you know, if you don't like it for frogging, you'll have another use for it. A good frog rod, it can be a good flipping stick Texas rig jig rod. I mean, that's my main thing, is frogging, flipping plastics, and throwing paddle tail swim baits. And to be honest with it, about every rod I own, I can throw a frog on. It might not be the best for this frog or that frog, but I can throw a frog on it. Booyah frogs, you know, they got them little weaker hooks. I've got a medium heavy that I can throw it on. I've got several medium heavies I can throw it on. Your frog rod don't have to be special. It just needs to fit you. Buy you a couple rods, buy you a shorter rod, buy you one around 7.3. 7.3 is a good length. I've actually got a 7.3 at the house that normally when I come back here, that's the rod I bring, but it's that time in Georgia and I'm getting it ready. That's why we're having this conversation. I'm getting ready for frogging season myself. They are fixing to be on the beds 100%. And it's game time. So yeah, take the time, practice your casting, find the combo that works for you. My frog rod might not be the frog rod that works for you. Your frog rod might not be the frog rod that works for me. Everybody fishes different. Everybody has different needs. Just because the guy on YouTube can use that 8-foot heavy, that don't mean you can. That guy on YouTube might be 6'5", 250 pounds. You know, you don't know. I know me, an 8-foot heavy, it's like a flipping stick maybe, but I doubt I'm gonna do any frogging whatsoever with it. But for your dedicated frog rod, find a rod, build you a combo, find the setup that you like, tie your frog on it, set it in the corner. That's the only thing you're going to use this combo for, is frogging. If you do that, every time you pick that frog rod up and you go to cast, your casting is always going to be accurate. You're never going to, you're never going to adjust from walking the frog. You're not going to have to. It's always going to be the same. Like me, I go through it. I've got 7-speed reels, 8-speed reels, 6-speed reels. And honestly, I kind of use all of them, and it gets aggravating because I'll grab this combo and it's completely different. It's stiffer blank, softer blank, whatever throws your casting off, and it's just, pick your combos wisely. Your dedicated combos, dedicate that combo to it. Learn your combos. Learn them. Know what they feel like, but your hands will tell you a lot. Learn what's in your hands, and you're gonna be that much more effective. It's as simple as that. You're gonna be that much more effective. Your Texas rig rod, you can go buy a $600 whatever. If you don't take the time to learn that rod, you might have wasted your money. You might have. But anyway, I'm about to turn this off because I really ain't out here to record. I just brought it just in case. I'm out here to practice my frogging because it's that time of year, and I love my frog combos. And my baby, I love my baby. My baby.